everybody to another great episode of Real Life Matters. Of course, I'm your host, DBoss. And, I'm just asking the people to support the guests that come on the show, even if they're entertainer, they're author, if they have businesses, if they have products and stuff like that. And, it's around the holiday season. So a lot of people will like to get stuff, purchase stuff, and even not just because it's the holiday season, but even after their products are still available. But anyways, I just want to tell everybody that this episode's been brought to you by one of our sponsors, Sweets. He's did my new do up here. So he's in Toronto. He's the Dawn of Hair Dawn. So if you didn't see his episode, you can go watch it. And he's at 1280 Finch Avenue West. He's in Toronto. So unfortunately for other people that want to get their hair done there, they can't get it done. They can't get it done there unless they're in the Toronto, the GTA area. But today, everybody, I got a very special guest on, and she's, oh my gosh, we're going to see what she does, a lot of stuff, and she's currently always working. She's a trooper. She's doing a lot of stuff, and she's a yes coach, and she does strategic yes training, and she's also an author. So, we got a lot to talk about and dissect with her. So with no other further ado, I introduce to you Pamela Heath.
Hello.
Well, you're the yes coach. Say yes, say yes, say yes.
Say yes to life. That's my thing.
Wow. So here at Real Life Matters, Pamela, people like to know what's your background and where you come from.
So, I was born here, but I wasn't raised here in California in the United States. I'm a military grad. My father was in the military, so we traveled a lot. I've lived all over the country. And one of the things that it gave me access to was being very ambidextrous. I know how to plug in, hit the ground running, and then plug out and go somewhere else. And it's the theme of my life, is this ability to be very flexible and also to be very warm and gracious to people, even if I don't know them. So it gave me a lot of access in terms of what I do now for a living, which is I teach people to say yes.
Wow. So you weren't in the military, it was just your dad?
Just my dad. I had 4 brothers. There were 7 of us. There were 4 boys and 3 girls. And 3 of my brothers also went into the military, and they were all career military. So I'm your, average military dependent. And one of the things that it gave me access to was this powerful connection to, to greeting people and being connected to people instantly, because you were at a place for 2 years and you moved on. And that's how I was raised.
All right. So how did you come up with this theme, yes, coach? Like you say, why I want to do yes, and why my whole branding is yes. So how did you come up with that?
So it's an interesting thing because in life, I'm one of life's little cheerleaders. I've always been someone who was very positive, optimistic, and I was always someone who told everyone, yeah, you can do it. Yeah, when I decided to become a coach and I took on creating that, one of the things that happened is it came up for me that there's something unique I bring to the party that not everyone brings. And I say yes to everything. If you're someone who interacts with me and you tell me you want something in life, to me, my thing is yes, you can have that. I don't care how outrageous it seems to everyone else. To me, life is designed to have you have anything you want. And that's just the way that I am. Now, the thing that's unique about me is I learned how to bottle it and give it to others. I have a very, very powerful, very inspiring 0 to hero story, if you'd like to hear it, about how I
Yes.
became a coach. So
Yes, we do want to hear about that.
yes, it's I find it motivating for most people. It's kind of interesting. I raised 2 children, and I ended up at a job where I was making a great deal of money, and I was doing really well. I was a success in life. And then one day the unthinkable happened. My oldest child, my daughter, committed suicide in 2007, and she was 30 years old. And it came out of left field. I was not expecting it. It was something that it's kind of gave me a sucker punch. And because that happened, and I wasn't really ready for that to happen, I went into a stage of grief where I just pulled away from life, and I ended up losing my job of 17 years because I stopped showing up to work, and they ended up having to let me go. And it just was out of communication. Because I lost my job, I lost my home. And because I lost my home and I had nowhere to live, I ended up living in my son's car because my car was repossessed because I couldn't pay the bill. And I was living on the streets in my son's car. And in all honesty, I really believed at that time that I didn't have anything to live for. I couldn't understand how this could happen to me. And to add insult to injury, after a 26-year marriage, one day out of the clear blue sky, my husband passed away. So there I was on the street, homeless, penniless, with no prospects. And then something happened that changed the course of my life. And it's really interesting because for most people, this thing that happened would be more of the same, bad luck, sucker punch. Because what happened was someone attacked me. And at
Mm,
the time, I was living in my son's car on the street and someone was watching me. I could feel that there was someone watching me, but I couldn't see them. For whatever vantage point they were watching me, I could feel myself being watched, but I could not see who it was. And then
okay.
one day I was standing outside the car, rummaging in the back seat, and I heard someone running up behind me. I heard their footsteps, and I knew instinctively this person was coming for me. And before I could turn around, he grabbed me from behind. And it was very clear to me that he was intending on harming me. And he grabbed me really hard. And in that moment, I had two epiphanies. And the first epiphany I had, which was a big shock to me, was that I wanted to live. And I put up a fight like nobody can imagine.
Wow.
I totally took him off his game. He was not expecting that level of fight. I startled him. I could see it in his eyes because I took my arms and I pulled them back and I hit him hard and he fell to the ground. And while he was down there with this looks of total shock on his face, I jumped in the car and locked the door. And he couldn't get me. And he tried. He shook the car and he pushed. He tried to break the window. He was not able to get in. And while he was doing that, I called the police. And when he heard me describing him to the policeman, he ran away. And in that moment, I had my second epiphany. The first epiphany that I realized I wanted to live because I thought I didn't until I fought that guy off and I realized
Mm,
I want to live. And the second epiphany I had was I don't want to live like this anymore.
okay.
So the next day, after I pulled myself together after that vicious attack, I made a phone call to an associate. He owned a business and he had a team of people. And I said to him, and I quote, "How is your team doing? Would it benefit you if I came in there and coached your team and got them to be more productive, more inspired, and more ready to follow your instructions than they ever have before? And you made more revenue than you ever had before. Would that be of value to you?" And he said, "Hell yes." And I said, "Well, I'll come in there and I'll do that." And when I hung up the phone on my first client, I had no idea what I was going to do. I had never even considered anything like this, but I knew that I was a yes. And as long as I brought that yes to his company, I knew I could make a difference. And I did. And I made such a difference that 3 months after I started coaching his team, he told me that he was making 3 times the amount of revenue that he ever had before. And he told all of his friends and associates. And the next thing you know, the Yes Coach was born. And I went from zero to a six-figure coaching industry in 8 months. I was,
8 months.
yes, I was making more money than I'd ever dreamed possible, certainly more than I was making as an employee. And I did it from saying yes. And that has been my motto. Why am I a yes? I've always been a yes. But the unique thing that happened is I started to practice giving it away. And that's when I wrote my best-selling book. The book I wrote called Say Yes, 7 Steps to the Life of Your Dreams. And in that book, I outlined the pathway I took to the life of my dreams so that everybody could participate in what it looks like to have the life of your dreams. And that's my mission in life. My mission is to help you find yours.
All right. So show us a copy of your book.
So this is my book. It's on Amazon. It's the international bestseller. It's called, let's see if I can aim it right. Say Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Say
Okay.
Yes. And
All
it's
right.
all about being willing. I'll give you an example because people don't realize they're saying no in life. So
Okay.
I hold a mastermind. I call it the Yes Mastermind. And I have different speakers come and speak at my stage to the different areas of life that make a difference, I say. And people have got to the point where they're dying to speak on my stage. They're clamoring. Everybody wants to speak on the Yes stage. So I talked to this one woman who has been chasing me. She wants to speak on my stage. So I give her a call and I say to her, okay, tell me a little bit about yourself. Um, and let's see if you can, come and speak on the Yes stage. And she told me, and I said, okay, yes, you can come and be a speaker. What I need is I need your bio and I need a headshot. And you send that to me and you will be a speaker on the Yes stage. And she said to me, well, I'm not at home. Now, is that a yes or is that a no?
Okay.
You get it?
I guess that'd be no.
It's a
That
no,
would be the no,
because the
right?
reality is in her mind, she's thinking, I can't do that. That's where she went. No, I can't. Versus, yes, I'll send it in within the hour because I got to go home for it. The first thing out of her mouth was, I can't. People do it all the time. They listen for what's missing and lead with what's missing. And they don't mean to do that because sometimes there's something you want very, very much. And the first thing out of your mouth is what's missing, that you can't have that. What you want to lead with always is yes.
So
Then
it's
look to
it's, it's the
see,
hesitation then
yes,
is
the
is is
fear.
the fear is the no. When you know, you should say yes. Yes, I can get my
Yeah,
degree.
you
Yes,
could
I'm
say
going to
yes.
finish.
You could say
Okay.
yes and then look to see what needs to happen to make that yes a reality. See,
Okay.
I say that the energy of yes is the energy that the universe resonates at. I say it's kind of like the analogy I like to use with people. It's like if you look at the movie, the animated movie Aladdin, and when the genie comes out of the bottle for the first time, he tells Aladdin, "You ain't never had a friend like me, because anything you ask for, I will make it happen." And
Okay.
that's what the universe is designed to do. You ain't never had a friend like me. Ask and you shall receive. People are afraid to ask because they think, I don't deserve it. I can't get it. I'm too young. I'm too old. I'm too tall. I'm too fat. They have these thoughts in their head that give them the reasons why they can't have that. I say, yes, you can have that. I have actually had clients who have come to me with things that everyone else in their life told them they couldn't have. For
Okay.
instance, a woman in her late 40s, I was interacting with her one day and she said, what I've always wanted to be and what I could never be is a model, because you're supposed to do that when you're young. And now I'm too old to be a model. And I said, if you want to be a model, go be a model. There are
Mhm.
very specific steps to take. Trust me, there are people who need models who are your age. What's missing here is not that you're too old to be a model. What's missing is you haven't said yes to be a model. So she went out and got headshots done and sent them out. And 6 months later, she was modeling at a modeling agency specific for people of her age.
Wow.
Just
So
like that.
if somebody comes to you and suppose like you probably get that all the time. A lot of people come to you and they probably say, "Oh, I don't believe in this man. Oh my gosh, like what do we mean? Yes, yes, yes. I've been working at this job. Yes." So what would you tell somebody?
Well, what I get all the time is I've been saying yes and it's not happening. And what I
Okay.
tell people, okay, if you're saying yes, there's something missing. Instead of saying it's not working, look to see what's missing. Now, you
Mhm.
can say yes, for instance, let's say you want rice for dinner, and you can sit in the lotus position and pray and you can say yes till the cows come home. But if you don't go to the stove and put a pot with water and rice on the stove, you're not going to have any rice. It's not going to fall out of the sky like a Navy SEAL. There are specific actions you have to take to have that thing. You know, there's always something missing. And what you want to say is, what's missing that I'm not producing that result? There's something, I promise you, every single time, there's something missing. And instead of telling the universe, you're not giving me what I want, ask the universe, what's missing? What do I need to add to my yes? Because you can't say yes and do nothing. It doesn't work that way. It's like the law. A lot of people, you know, if you've watched that movie, The Secret, or read the book about the law of attraction, a lot of people think, well, if I think it, I can have it. It's not enough to just want it and think it. It's not enough to just say it. You have to take actions that are correlate with you having that thing. Like, in other words, if you say you want to be a model, you need to go out and get headshots. You need to go out and tell people you want to be a model. You can't just sit in your house in the lotus position and say, I want to be a model. I want to be a model. I want to be a model. Yes, that's not, it's not a magic word.
But some people will do that, right, Pamela?
Oh yeah, they think, you know, just like with the law of attraction, they think, I want it, I want it, I want it. I believe that anything you want, you can have, but you do need to take action. Correlate. This is the important part. This is the thing that I teach that a lot of people who teach the law of attraction don't teach. The actions have to be correlate with you having that thing. For instance, I coach a lot of young girls who are looking for boyfriends, you know, and they say they want a boyfriend and they want Mr. Right. He needs to be rich. He needs to be good looking. He needs to be hung. All this stuff they got going on, right? They say they want these things and they sit home with their hair, you know, bed hair, and their house is a mess, and they sitting around watching TV and talking on TikTok and chit chat and Twitter and all that stuff, and they're not taking any actions to have some guy come into their life. And by the way, when he comes into your life, you have to be the correlate for his match. If you want a rich man that's good looking and well hung and really sweet to you, you got to be that way for him. If that's the man you want, you have to take the actions correlate to attract that man.
So if it's not just young people looking for a husband, a wife, or any vice versa, so what do you tell people? So what do you tell them to do? You know, you can just give us a little, you know,
I'll give you a little taste, because I've
done
this
many times. A little taste and want people to buy that book.
I'll tell you, I've done this with many people. It works every time. I had a client who came to me, and you know, he had to had a date in years. He hadn't been out with anybody in years, and he said, I'm really looking for the perfect person. And I said, I'll give you a homework assignment, and you're going to do this for 2 weeks, and you're going to come back and tell me how it went. And he said, okay. And I said, every time you are walking down the street, or you're going into a building, or you're driving in your car and you turn and look at the person driving next to you, every time you catch somebody's eyes, I want you to wink and smile at them. That's a homework assignment. Go do that and come back in 2 weeks and tell me how. He goes, what? No, I mean it. If you catch somebody's eye, if you look at them and they look at you, wink and smile at them. And he did. He went off and did that. That was the assignment, right? 2 weeks later, he came back and said, girl, what did you do to me? I have too many dates now. This is getting really, really overwhelming. I have a date.
What happened? So he winked at them, and then they came over and talked to him, or what did they do?
The thing about it is that it works every time. That's not the only person I've done it with. It's just that was the most successful.
Okay.
In a way, he was closed. That's why he hasn't dated. I just put an open for business sign out.
So what do you do for women? So what do women do?
So women is the same thing. I tell them to do the same thing. It works better for women, by the way, than men. It works better. Can you imagine men with a woman winking and smiling at them? Basically, what you're doing is saying, I'm available. That's all you're doing. See, what they don't understand is that you're closed. When someone looks at you and you just look back at them like, what? What's your malfunction? What? That's called closed. your clothes, and they don't know what to do with that. And men have feelings too, just like women do. It's like, oh well, that one's closed. But if you wink and smile and like, come on over here, you got something to say, go say it. There, that means I'm open, I'm available, I'm available to talk to you. That's all they need. That's all they need if they're
Okay.
interested, because not everybody's going to come running up. But like I said, with
Well,
women, it
that's
works
for
better
person
than
to
men.
person, but a lot of people do these online dating things, and they think that's, is
I'm
okay.
all for online dating as long as you do it safely and you do it, in a smart way.
Right.
I advocate it. It's in my book. I advocate online dating. Whatever you need to do, the actions, remember, have to be correlate with you having that thing you want. You cannot expect your Mr. Right to drop into your living room like a Navy SEAL. It's not going to work that
Well,
way.
maybe that can happen. No, no.
It might, there's anything's available. You never know. It's like, boom, here I am, baby. But the reality is you got to get out there and you got to start dating. And I
Right.
like to put it like, if you've seen that movie Gone with the Wind, there's a scene in the beginning of the movie when Scarlett O'Hara is at a picnic and there's like 6 guys surrounding her. One wants to get her dessert, one wants to get her a punch, one wants to get her, a plate. It's like, that's how it should be. You should be at a grocery store shopping. It should not be this one guy and you're dating him for the next 5 years until he drops you for the younger one that comes along. It should not be like that. You should be having your choice of all the men who are clamoring for your attention. And that's the way it was supposed to be. That's the way it's always meant to be. But
Mhm.
women are not willing to put themselves out there to let men know they're open and available. They're just not willing to do that. And you are available. Are you kidding? Who's not available? I mean, if you're married, obviously you're not available. I don't mean it like
Right.
that. But if you're single and available, you should let people know. It's not something you have to wear a sandwich sign. But, if you wink and smile at everyone you meet, I promise you, you'll be dating every week. I promise you,
Okay.
you will.
All
Just
right.
try it. Those of you who are listening, give it a try. That's your homework assignment. And then let me know. I'm Pam Heath. I'm the Yes Coach on social media. I'm the Yes Coach. I'm the only one that's there. It's trademarked. Let me know,
Okay.
because everybody I've given that assignment to has come back having gone on dates, because basically you've got a clothes sign out and everyone can see it. You'd be surprised what people pick up on. The minute you
Wow.
start winking and smiling at everybody you see, honey, that's like putting out the sign open for business. And honey, the business will start arriving from
Well,
the day you start doing it. Try it. Make me wrong. I look forward to hearing from you.
we're gonna try that one. We're gonna get a couple of people to try that assignment, Pam, and then we're
I
gonna reach
double
out.
dare you.
All right. So okay. So another little scenario. So what if people are looking for a specific type of job or
Okay.
employment?
So when it comes to career, it's important. Like if you have a job, a 9 to 5 job, you're already there and you're happy and you're content. It's great. Read my book. It'll tell you how to generate yourself at work so that you're fully satisfied and fully content. But if you're not content, if you're in a dead end job, miserable, unhappy, then what I recommend you do is you look to see what it is that you want to do. You have a mission in life. You have a purpose. I'm somebody who really believes that people have a reason to be here, just like I had a reason to be here. I didn't know it, not until that man attacked me, that I was
Mm.
here to support people in finding out what their mission in life was. Because my mission, when I realized what it was to help people find theirs. And I knew when he attacked me, I knew I wanted to live. And I didn't know that until he did. So
So was
there's
this
a
man that attacked you? Was he bigger than you? He was a lot bigger
He
than
was
you, and you fought him?
huge, and he was
Oh
very
my
tall.
God.
You can't tell by looking at me, but I'm actually 5'4", so I'm not that tall.
Oh,
And he was
okay.
very tall. He was much taller than me. I just surprised him. He was not expecting. He thought that here's this woman. She's living in her car. I'm going to take her and I'm going to throw her down to the ground and have my way with her. I don't know what he was thinking, because I know he dropped his drawers. I know that.
Mm.
So he had every intention to assault me. And the thing about it was that I just surprised him. I I fought with such, vicious aggression that he wasn't expecting, and then I knocked him down, and that gave me the time I needed to get in the car and lock the door. So it was just a surprise to him and me that I wanted to live, because I fought like a Tasmanian devil. And the thing about it was is that there's something in life that's there for each of us. And if you're not living the life that you were designed to live, you'll know it because you'll be unhappy and miserable. And one of the things I do, it says on my thing there, clarify your message. I think everybody has one. I think everybody in life was put here for a reason. And there's a message you are designed to bring. From Mother Teresa to the lowliest janitor in a building, everybody has a reason for being here. And your message will make a difference for everybody you tell it to. So I help people clarify their message. It's what I do. Now, I'm a business strategist. I'm a coach. I help you brand yourself, but it's all about why you're here. I help you figure that out. And I have a unique way of doing it. And I find that so far, I have never failed to help the people who hire me clarify their message. I call it instant clarity. And I have these workshops that I do where I help people get access to what it is that they're here for. And when you figure that out, you'll know what you want to do for a living. And it could be that you're already doing it, but for a lot of people, you're not. You're not living your mission. You're not living your purpose. And it's time for you to take that on. And no better time than right now when the whole world is in upheaval and nobody knows what's coming next. It's time to get your message on. And I'm here to help you do it.
All right. And you're also a host of The Science of Yes. So tell us a little bit about that.
So the Science of Yes is my podcast.
I didn't leave
Yeah.
out nothing.
Now I noticed, my goodness. So I have a podcast on Thursday nights. It's called The Science of Yes, and I call the yes energy a science. And the reason I call it that is because as a scientist, they study everything and they tweak and they experiment. And I say that the energy of yes is what the universe resonates at. So if you want to be like a scientist and start to study the energy of yes, then I invite you to come onto my podcast and listen to me talk about how you can take different tools and different resources to leverage your knowledge of the energy of yes to get whatever you want in life. And that's what it's all about. I call it a science because I consider myself to be a scientist. I'm actually like very impressed with some of the very intelligent people on the planet, like Einstein and people like that, who have acknowledged that even though you can be intellectually smart, there's something that permeates the universe that's beyond intelligence and beyond knowledge. It's spiritual. Even Einstein acknowledged it. And that's what I'm tapping into, that spiritual energy that I call the science of yes. On some of this, come get some because I'm giving it away every week on Thursday nights at 8 p.m.
Okay. And what you just look it up on your podcast? Is it
You
on
can
YouTube?
find me on iTunes. It's called The Science of Yes. And you
Okay.
can also find me on iHeartRadio. And should I put a link to
No, it's
the podcast?
no, it's okay. You just say iHeartRadio and you just look for.
iHeartRadio, iTunes, Blog Talk Radio. There's different platforms that carry it, but it's called The Science of Yes. I'm the only one on there. The Yes Coach, The Science of Yes, that's me. It took 7 years for me to brand myself, but when you plug in the Yes Coach in Google, that's who pops up is
Okay.
me.
All right. So if people want to come to do your classes or something, like is that, well, I guess there's a certain price is attached to whatever you're going to do if they sign up with for
Yeah.
your
They should
workshop.
go to my website. My website is Yes Coach for
Hmm.
You. That's Yes Coach, the number 4, the letter U.com. And you can go there, now if you want to, and
Hmm.
download I have a free ebook there called Transform Your Money Mindset. And that ebook helps you get yourself into the position where you can manifest money, because money is all a question of your mindset. It's not a question of how much money you make at your job. It's a question to how much you're open to receive. And so that book is called Transform Your Money Mindset. It's free. You can download it at my website, and you can also fill out a form to find out more about my programs. I have an instant clarity course coming up in December. If you want to get
Okay.
into that course, you should go and, reach out to me either by going to my website. You can write to me. I'm PamHeath at yescoachforyou.com.
Hmm.
And you can,
Well,
you know,
I'm gonna go download that one, that transfer your money thing. I'm gonna download
yeah,
that.
go get your copy of Transform Your Money Mindset. and get yourself in the mindset for money, because for what I say is that people's relationship to money is always kind of skewed by whatever their parents' relationship to money was. So if you are someone who,
Oh,
is open to receive whatever the universe has to give you, the universe has a abundance of money to give you. And all you have to be is open to receive it. I can't even tell you, I could go on and on about the things that I've manifested, including the house I live in.
oh yes.
Oh, yes. Manifested on a dime. It was unbelievable. I was living for almost 5 years in a condo that I was renting, and this guy, he writes me, the landlord, I just got married and me and my wife want to live in my condo, so you have to leave in 30 days. And this was after 5 years. And I didn't know what to
Wow.
do. This is during the pandemic, right? So I'm like, oh my God. And so I went out there and I manifested a house. I went from a 2-bedroom condo to a 3-bedroom house in a matter of 30 days. So you
Wow.
can have anything you want if you say yes.
Well, we're going to definitely say yes to you coming back again.
I'd love to.
Because
And I'd love to do some
you can't.
work with you guys. I love to do work with people. If there's anybody that wants me to have a call with you so we can look at clarifying your message and see if you want to take that workshop, just reach out. PamHeath at Yes
Well, we're
Coach
gonna
for
have to.
You.
We're gonna have to try this call on myself.
I'm happy to do that. I'd
We'll
love
have a
to do
lot of
that with you.
people else that can probably call, which from the show, and of course, people out there that's watching. We got a
Well,
lot of
I'm going to
people out
send
there
you a free
watching.
copy of my book so that you can find out all about, the 7 areas of life that I think will make
And
you
how much does
happy.
it go for your book?
It goes for $14.99 on
Okay,
Amazon,
okay,
and it's an
okay.
international bestseller. It went to bestseller 2 hours after it was published.
You see,
Yeah,
well, this Pam, I'm telling you, it's a journey. And
it
talking
is.
with you is so interesting. And tell you the time just just goes, it just goes so quick. With all my guesses like that, but this one just went. I thought we were talking for like 15 minutes. I look up, it's like, what? Okay. But anyways, we're here to teach, to learn. So next time when you come on, you could maybe go through a little tip of whatever you decide to tell everybody, or we'll find out what they want. Of course, probably maybe people want to know about money, or people want to know about how their health or something, or maybe something different, right?
Yeah,
So
I do the health thing because I've overcome some major health issues. And I also do the money thing. The money thing is the most popular thing. And I do this thing where I open up your cash flow, and we can do a guided meditation with you so that people can watch the process, and then you can open yourself up to receive, because cash is like rain from the sky when you're open to receive. Most people are closed for business. That's why I
okay.
just put up an open sign is what I do.
So you got to be open for business if you're dating
Yeah.
people. You got to
Yep.
be open for business for receiving your cash flow,
For receiving
and you got
money,
to be open to saying yes.
say yes. That's the key, is to say yes. Say yes first and then figure out how to do it. Don't
But
say, okay,
but
I
you
can't
have
do
to
that
get that
because.
book. You got to get that book. You got to get the book,
Say
people.
yes.
It's not like you don't understand, because don't go be doing something that you don't do. Oh, and Pam, and then you didn't get the book.
Yeah, exactly. And people, the one question that people ask me all the time is, am I allowed to say no? And yes, you can say no. It's not that the word no is a bad word. It's not about the semantics of the word. It's about your being.
And
You
how
can
you
say no.
apply
There's things you're supposed to say no. Honey, nope. Mm-mm.
it.
There's things you say no to, but it's not about the word. It's about the being. Say yes to life.
Okay.
And that's
So,
where we can
are any shout outs that you want to give to the people, Pam? Because it's been so interesting. Of course, we got to bring you back, because people like yourself, when you're bringing up positivity, and here at Real Life Matters, the people are learning things from everybody. It doesn't matter what industry or where you're at, they always learn something. So, of course, we got to bring you back to learn. And and people don't get jealous, because Pam knows what she's doing, and I'm saying yes to Pam.
Thank you. And the shout out, you talk about real life matters. It does. So if you say yes to life, life will say yes to you. And that's my shout out. Say yes. Try it. And then get back to me how it went.
All right. And if people want to find you on your social medias, where can they look for you?
So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I am the Yes Coach. Just search for the Yes Coach. It's me.
Woo! You hear, people? So don't go
Yep.
trying to put up your name as yes or whatever, because you know what happened. You
It's
get
trademark.
the big
You're gonna
S.
get in trouble. You're gonna get in trouble.
You'll
Bet
get the
not.
big S. You'll get the big S sued.
That's right. That's you gonna get in trouble. I've seen people try to do the Yes Coach thing after me, but I'm trademarked on you. Get in trouble. You can say I'm
Woo!
a Yes Coach, but you're not the Yes Coach.
Or the real S goes.
Yeah, I'm the real one. I was the first one.
All right. Well, you know, Fam, it's been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to you coming back. You know, very shortly. So, because you know the holiday time and stuff like that, at any other time, people are always at home and they're gonna be watching stuff. So they're gonna probably go out. We got to watch this podcast, and they got to watch the interview that you did with Pam. Yeah, and that's the time they get to do all those things, and they watch it together with the families and stuff like that. So you could also do the Zooms and stuff with people if they want to do a one-on-one. Correct?
Correct. Absolutely. I do the Zooms. I do one-on-one. I do group. Whatever it takes to get you what you say you want. The Yes Coaches be there for you. I say yes.
And she's out in Los Angeles, people.
Yeah.
LA.
I'm in Southern California. You want to come out here and visit?
California. Yeah, where all the dreams are.
Yes. I can
All
tell
right.
you that life is for the dreaming. It's all about the dream. So don't stop dreaming and say yes.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure, Pam, having you on Real Life Matters tonight. And I do also want to thank the viewers for tuning in and seeing Pam. Go get her book. Go get the 7 steps. You know, if you didn't see this episode, just go on my YouTube channel at DBoss Networks, and you will see it there. If you didn't get a chance to see it on Bell 5 channel 658 or CareVision on all the 28 countries, 12 million viewership. So you guys, it'll get out there, and I believe that. So I'm saying yes. So everybody, so good night, everybody, and we're just saying yes. Bye for now.